from the tap to tales galore. Oh, taste of stories, spinning yeast and grain. Mr. B goes round the world again. So if you like, then stick around. Cheers to the nights we banished all our fears. Mr. B will raise the bar, you bet. With every pint of ale we won't forget.
Hello, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a homebrew video, and this one is a grain to glass video. Back in May, or what date, let me just see, on the 3rd of May I did it was a big brew day, international big brew day. So myself and Kevin from Shark's Homebrew Adventures decided that we wasn't going to do the barley wine, so we wanted to do something that we could both do and possibly taste a commercial version as well ourselves, as Kevin's in the USA. So I asked Kevin if he fancied doing a London Pride clone, our own take on the London Pride. So that's what we did. So we did a little bit of research and we basically found the London Pride website, the Fuller's website, actually gave the hops and the malts, but it didn't give percentages or where you actually use the hops in the process. So we just made up our own recipes, 2 separate recipes, and we tasted them. Go and check out on Shark's channel. We did like an hour live on there. But this is my video, my grain to glass video of that beer. So I called it Griffin's Pleasure. It's a best bitter in style, basically. So I've got my little homebrew book here with my notes in. It's a brew in the bag for me on the stove. I was aiming for 8 litres, an 8 litre batch. I used Marisotta, Crystal Light and Chocolate. I'll put up on the screen the percentages, it'll be somewhere scrolling. In the hops it was Target, Challenger, East Kent Goldings, North Down, and then I used Target, Challenger and East Kent Goldings again at different times in the boil. So it was 4 hops: Target, Challenger, East Kent and North Down. Again, it'll be on the screen where I used them hops and what IBUs I was looking for. So we can go now, look at the brew day, come back and I can pour a glass, and I will pour a glass of the original London Pride out of the bottle. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. So yeah, I hope I did I run through the recipe again? I can't remember what I did on the, did I do a voiceover? I can't remember. It was back in May, it's now June. So my target, go back Rob, go back a page. So I was looking for an original gravity of 1.046. I actually achieved 1.046 and I achieved the final gravity of 1.010. So I got a 4.7% beer. But what I did do, I bought some Oxybar, the big I put on screen now the big plastic looking bottle with the tap on top, and I basically keg conditioned it. So I primed it, put the beer into it after fermentation, because I wanted something that had natural carbonation, and I just let that sit for 2 weeks, and it's sat in my fridge behind me now. I've got a party tap, picnic tap here. I'm going to put it in the glass. So I achieved a I achieved 4.7 ABV. And what else I did, you'll see on that little brew day, I did the yeast. I cultivated yeast. I've got a separate video for that, from the 1845 Fuller's bottles, 2 Fuller's bottles. Go and check out that video. I used that yeast, and I also didn't put an airlock on the carboy, the glass Demi-john. I just put the net over the top, sanitised net, and the rubber bung with the hole in where they normally put the airlock, and then I put it in I actually didn't put it in the fridge, I did it in the airing cupboard. I was just trying to go proper old school on this. Put it in there, and it took off, and it fermented in about 2.5 days, that open fermentation, and that yeast just ripped through the beer. So let's get the beer in the glass. And because, oh god, I'm pouring it on myself, because I had to just pour a little bit into a little glass before this one. And because it's in the oxy keg, and it's got a tube in, and at the bottom is where it's conditioned, like a bottle conditioned beer, it picks up some of the trub. So it's not the clearest, it's not got the best clarity, the beer, but well, you'll see, because there it is. There's it pouring now. Hopefully you're getting that coming out of that picnic tap. I wanted it low carbonation, and I achieved low carbonation, so I'm really pleased with that, because I'm not a big fan of, definitely not a big fan of fizzy bitters. I don't want a fizzy bitter. I wanted something low, I wanted something natural carbonation. I've got that, so I'm happy with that. So yeah, pouring my, what did I tell you? I called this Griffin's Pleasure. Griffin after the brewery, and pleasure instead of pride. And it's 4.7%. But you can see, there we go. Let me just put that tap back on there. There is the homebrew, and you can see that has brought up again. It's brought up the yeastiness from the bottom, because that tube I ain't got a floating dip tube in there. It's got a tube that goes right to the bottom. What's right at the bottom, Rob? Your trub, your conditioning, the yeast that you've conditioned in. So every time I do a pour, I bring a bit up, which it does make it look hazy. But next time, what I can do with that bottle, I could line its side and might get rid of that problem. So it's not clear, it's not pin bright whatsoever, unlike London Pride. But the colour is very, very similar. If this was hazy, the colour would be pretty close. This is just like an ambering colour. It's called a Outstanding Amber Ale. It's the best bitter. For me, it's the best bitter. And there we go. So different straight away. That's bright, that's clear, that's pasteurised. Mine isn't. Mine's got some definite flavour character. If mine was pin bright, I'd be happy with it. I'm happy with it anyway. So let's get into it. So the nose, I really love it. It's got a real, mine has got a real bready, lovely, I love that bready nose on there. Some fruity esters from that yeast and from the hop, a little bit of hedgerow hop going on, a little bit of caramel sweetness. London Pride has got more hop character. It's got like a cleaner hop character in this one. That might be because it's also being muted by the yeast in the bottom of that oxy keg. But I love the breadiness of this one, and the caramel note and the toffee. Where this is more hop forward, this is more malt forward. So there is a slight difference there. So I'll go with mine first. So here we go. Cheers. Oh, I could just smash that. Oh, it's really smooth, caramel, bready. Has got a nice little bitter note right at the back, so the hops coming through in the character on the bitterness there, holding back the sweetness. It is very, very easy drinking, very, very sessionable at 4.7%. Oh, that bready character, the malt forwardness of that. It's really, really good. It drinks like a cask. And that's why I wanted to do the keg cask conditioning. Just wanted that natural low carbonation that I really enjoy in cask beer, and that's got that, and that's lovely. I really, really like that. I would brew that again, and maybe put it on some CO2 just so I get the clarity, because I keep pulling up that yeast, or put a floating dip tube in. That'd be better. That'd be a better idea. So here's the actual London Pride. It's lost its, they both actually lost the head there now. Yeah, a little bit more of hop note on this one. It's got the same backbone of breadiness. It's just that. It's a nice enough beer. It's got that little bitterness there. You know, it tastes like a best bitter. It's got that bready, got the caramel note. But there is, it's like Mrs. B pointed out, the carbonation is a little bit harsh. So it's a little bit harsh on the palate, especially compared to this. This is, even though, I mean, I'm happy with the look of that. I really am. And I understand why I'm getting that slight haziness as well, because I'm pulling up the yeast with it. But definitely prefer to drink this one over this one, because there's a slight harshness. And when we did the live with Kevin, as it warmed up, that harshness got a little bit, it came more to the front. It's not a bad beer, and like I say, I just prefer this one. This homebrew it's just smoother, more enjoyable. I'm gonna have to rebrew this again and just call it a best bitter and get me clarity. That was it. Is it a success? It's a success in the fact it's a lovely best bitter, and it's really sessionable. Is it a success? Is it a London Pride clone? No. It's not a direct clone, it's just something, it's a take on it. It's not the same beer. They've both got different characteristics. Like I say, this is a bit more harsh. It's got a bit more of a hop note. This is more malt forward. Suits my palate for a best bitter more than this one. Feels like the London Pride in the bottle. It's a little bit gassy. I feel it, like now I can feel it on the stomach, you know, getting a bit gassy there straight away. But still an okay beer, don't mind it at all. But this one, I think I'll have to brew it again, because it's the summer and I want a good best bitter. I might change the hop schedule a bit more, just to make it more, I mean, it is my beer, it's my recipe, but just adjust it, tweak it a little bit more so I do get a little bit more hop character there. Maybe move the hops later into the boil, bring the hop, you know, the actual measurement of hops at the back end of the boil up. But it's still a good beer. That is enjoyable. That really, really is. So there it is. That's my Griffin's Pleasure, 4.7%, brew in the bag, on the stove. Maybe this is what I should do in the pinter. Natural carbonation. See how that works in the pinter. I think that would be a good beer for the pinter, if I'm honest. So there you go. So yeah, I hit my numbers. The pH was 5.4, which is great. The hops on the day, the aroma from the actual hops, a blend of hops, I was getting like a, what was it I put here, fruit cake and zest, which was just really, really good when I had them. Did a whirlpool just so I can get, you know, with a spoon, just so I can get the hops and everything to settle, try and get a bit more clear beer. And I used 12 grams of table sugar in the keg to get that natural carbonation, like I say, it's conditioned in the keg. And yep, I will definitely do that again. Maybe I'll use a floating dip tube, just so I'm not pulling off the trub every time. But you can imagine getting a bottle conditioned beer and you're just taking it from the bottom every time, and it settles, and you take it from the bottom. That's the problem I've got. I should have used a floating dip tube, and I wouldn't have had that problem, and I would have had a much clearer end product like that. Anyway, I am just waffling. I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. The next homebrew video is either going to be another grain to glass, possibly. I can't remember if I did a video on the brew day of the Czech lager, or it's going to be like the one I'm promising. I've got something, some new gear. I'm just not quite ready with it yet, so that's going to be one of my next homebrew updates. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll cheers with that, and I'll see you on the next one.
So if you like, then stick around. Cheers to the nights we banished all our fears. Mr. B will raise the bar, you bet. With every pint of ale we won't forget.